What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Copy Narrates. And today's stories are all about parents and kids and the trials and tribulations that they go through in their relationships. And we are starting off with, am I the arsehole for refusing to pay for my daughter's wedding because she won't let me walk her down the aisle? I'm a 48-year-old man, and my 19-year-old daughter has always been an independent thinker. I raised her to be independent and think for herself, which I've always appreciated. However, we recently hit a bit of a snag. She got engaged and decided that she doesn't want me to walk her down the aisle at her wedding. She argues that her mother and I don't own her, therefore we have no right to give her away. I feel hurt by this because we never treated her like an object or piece of property. Rather, we've tried our best to provide her with a wonderful life. Her stance seems extreme to me, and despite discussions, she's refusing to budge on the issue. I respect her choices, but I feel she's disregarding our feelings completely. As a response, I told her that if she feels that way, then I won't be paying for her wedding. I don't want to come across as controlling or manipulative. It's true, I don't own her. I also don't owe her a fully funded wedding. She can pay for her own wedding if she's insistent on this stance. I'm feeling quite conflicted about this. Am I the arsehole? Edit. So this isn't about making the wedding about me. Walking her down the aisle, while all eyes are on her anyway, and then sitting down is hardly making the wedding about me. It's about her attitude. She's had every opportunity in life so far, and to exclude us from this day is a spit in the face. It's a rejection of everything we've done for her, sacrificed for her, given her. It's selfish. 90% of wedding traditions and symbolism had roots in things we don't acknowledge today. Should we stop all of them? The rings, the flowers, the dress, the wedding party, the cake, the flower girls? A father walking his daughter down the aisle has been about respect, pride and love, and honouring the father-daughter relationship for far longer than it was about ownership. Independent thinking does not mean rude or selfish thinking. Being an independent thinker does not give someone the license to disregard or disrespect the thoughts, feelings or perspectives of others. Independent thinking is about maintaining the ability to think critically and form one's own opinion while remaining respectful and considerate of others. It is a balance between asserting of individuality and engaging in meaningful and respectful interactions with others. Edit 2. Also note that our relationship is not so weak that this disagreement will ruin our relationship. We are still close with each other in spite of this. There is zero chance of her not inviting us to her wedding, regardless of who pays for it, or cutting off contact and withholding grandchildren. I feel sorry for anyone who suggests that as a possibility. In life, people disagree, even strongly. It's a natural part of life. We don't end lifelong relationships over it. The OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the arsehole. I'm refusing to pay for my daughter's wedding. 2. I'm doing this because I'm not happy with not being able to walk her down the aisle, even though I'm financially able to pay for it. And we have some comments, so let's jump into that. Not the arsehole, you heard her. She's independent. Independent people deal with their own bills. And someone replies that saying, exactly, you don't own her. Why are you paying for a wedding to give away a possession you don't own? Not the arsehole and less financial stress for you. And another commenter posts, honestly, the reason I wouldn't pay for a wedding wouldn't be because she doesn't want you to walk her down the aisle. It would be because she's 19. Maybe they really will be together forever. But if they truly believe that they can grow up together a little bit before making that big of a commitment. Edit to add, not the arsehole. Edit 2. Y'all, I'm not saying it's impossible for things to work out for 19-year-olds getting married. You don't have to keep using your grandma as an example. I have also been with my husband since we were 19, 20, but waited until we were 25, 26 to get married, as we both knew enough to know we weren't ready for the commitment and sacrifice that comes with marriage at a young age. This 19-year-old does not appear to display the maturity to make a lifelong commitment. She wants to get rid of the tradition of having her dad give her away, but not her parents' dowry of paying for a wedding. I'm all for being independent and wanting to move away from traditional practices if they don't align with your beliefs, but you don't then get to cherry pick only the practices that benefit you. I stand by my original comment. And I think that sums it up quite nicely. In this one, I didn't think Opie was the arsehole in this. I didn't really think the daughter was an arsehole either. I didn't think she was an arsehole because she didn't actually request the money. It was that dad was going to pay, and then this came up, and then they had a disagreement about it, and it is what it is. I don't think anyone's in the wrong for this. And I understand why Opie's upset about this because, like they said in one of the edits, was that for them it isn't about ownership or tradition or that. It's about the relationship of father and daughter changing and that connection. Big step, right? And I think the dad Opie just wanted to walk his daughter down the aisle. Just one last special moment between them before life really, really changes. Because obviously Opie's daughter is 19, right? So she's still pretty young. And this will be her moving out, moving away, starting a new life. And that's a massive change. So you can understand why the dad would want that one last moment where before everything changes, just to celebrate. I guess that's the right word. Celebrate life and growing up and change. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think down below about this one. Do you think OP was the arsehole in this one? They were voted not the arsehole. Many other people did vote them. There were quite a few comments of them being the arsehole, but the overall vote was not the arsehole. This next story comes from Best of Redditor Update and was originally posted in r/parenting. My daughter, 6 female, was disappointed about not being in her dad's wedding. Ongoing. Original. My daughter, 6, has been disappointed yet again. Her father got married today and she was so excited. He promised her a special role in the wedding and a special gift like a ring or bracelet or something, plus fun, dancing, cake, etc. I got her ready this morning and she was just so excited. I got to bring her to where he had previously told me to bring her. Well, plans changed and he dropped the ball and forgot to tell me where to go. It was an extra 20-minute ride after the already 30-minute ride. We get there, I send her in with the ladies. Now she gets home far earlier than I expected, is a crying heap, and she tells me that she had no special role, didn't get to stand with them or help at all. She didn't get the special gift he promised, he didn't line up anyone to keep an eye on her, person he told me was bringing her home didn't know that she was supposed to bring her, she didn't get to dance or have cake because the party got too drunk and rowdy too fast after the vows, so she was brought home early by the person who wasn't aware they were her ride. I'm beyond upset for her. I'm just at such a loss on what to do for her to make her feel better. Now she won't get to see her dad for the next 2 weeks for his honeymoon, and she's already saying she misses him, then just looks sad. I just need to vent this somewhere. She's been talking about this wedding for a whole year now. She just seems really crushed. Edited to update. I read every single comment and all the love here is super reassuring. I really appreciate all the advice and have taken some of it. Seriously, thank you for all the advice. We let her pick out a cake to have. She loved it. I finally folded and dyed pink streaks in her hair. We have a few mum and daughter things planned out and she's feeling better today. She even went to cheer and did a fantastic job, though looked a little sad at moments. My husband has been great with her and showing her extra love too. I also spoke to a couple different people who are my daughter's family there, but I know are on her side of things. Apparently the stepmom set up most of the wedding. It was unorganised to say the least. No one was in charge of setup. She was an hour late for her own wedding. She was supposed to give our daughter a role, but had all of her family, but only had her side of the family in the wedding. I don't know where he fell in all this, other than just letting her walk all over him and our daughter. He should have been there to stick up for her. They both had a failure of duty here because neither of them followed through on the promises and well-being of my baby girl. Now I have 2 weeks to plan what to say to them and how to say it. Edit 2, forgot to mention, I'm finding her a therapist immediately. Not sure what kind I'm going for other than specialities with children. I'm also considering consulting a lawyer. Update, my daughter's sixth female was disappointed about not being in her dad's wedding. An update. So I made a post a while ago here, and a few people had requested an update, but be warned, it's a bit long. The gist of the first post of my daughter's sixth female went to her father's wedding with all these promises that she would have a big important role and it would be very special. She went, he didn't communicate where I was supposed to bring her at all, so I was a bit late dropping her off. It was an extra 20 to 30 minutes away. She didn't have a role. She sat like a guest through the ceremony. She didn't get cake and was brought home early by her father's mum, Grammy. She was crushed. After the events of the post, he went blissfully on his honeymoon, and I picked up the pieces of our child. She was distraught. For days she would just look sad at moments and go to her room, or cry a bit, or lay down on the couch, or come in for a cuddle. She's been begging me for a year to get some pink hair, so he put some streaks in it, and she absolutely loves it. Her stepdad and I took her on a kinda family date to eat and to a movie without her younger brother, 1 year male. We had loads of fun and did loads of other things, like little dance parties in the living room and nail painting, makeup, dress up, anything and everything. We also let her pick out a cake to have after supper that night. She picked a white cake with sugary frosting, of course. I also placed a ton of calls and got on a wait list to have her see a counsellor or therapist. 8 to 12 weeks, so we may have quite a while to go. I let her know she could talk to me about anything, and she did express her feelings to me in regards to the wedding and how she feels about herself. I listened and reassured her that we all love her and she is important to us, and so many cuddles. When he returned from the honeymoon, we had a face-to-face conversation on my terms. I decided to not just jump in angry and do my best to be nice in hopes of getting answers and giving her a clear understanding of what his actions led to. I think OP meant to write giving him a clear understanding of what his actions led to. I started out by asking him what happened, and he told me that he flubbed on not telling me that I wasn't dropping her off at point A anymore and was now going to point B. That the bride, also a little late. They didn't arrange any setup, so the guests were setting stuff up with the groomsmen, and the ladies were inside. Things started up really late. They didn't include her in the ceremony, but had something planned later during the reception. Grammy didn't know she was our daughter's ride home because he flubbed again in not telling her. Grammy also spent the time after the ceremony caring for our daughter while she was cold and sad. Grammy and stepdad were super angry and left and brought my baby home before the plans for her and before cake. He was really upset how it all turned out. Then I told him about how she came home crying, that we did a bunch of stuff to make her feel better, including dyeing her hair, even though he didn't want that in the past. Told him I'm putting her in therapy to work through this. He cried. Still not sure how I feel about that. I don't feel bad that he cried though. I told him we could talk things out. We could talk on this more another time. Said I'm sorry things turned out this way and left. She's been having some behavioural issues at daycare. Now that it's summer, by not listening and doing things she knows that she shouldn't, like climbing on piles of mats. He and I talked more on it, but he can't look me in the eye anymore, and I just don't want to be anywhere near him. He hurt my baby, and I'm still feeling Mama Bear in my chest whenever I think about it. TLDR, he cried. I'm still mad. She's still sad, and I think we all need therapy. Well, this one turned out bleak at the end. No one ended up happy. The ex is obviously a douche. But however, why does Grammy get off scot-free? Because from what you wrote in the update, OP, the person who brought your daughter home was her grandma, your ex's mother, who brought her back from the wedding early. And from what your ex said, he didn't even know that she brought her back early, and even brought her back before your daughter was meant to do the special thing. Does your ex-mother-in-law like you or like your child? Or does she not like the new bride and wanted to make drama? Because it seems like there was this expectation that your daughter was going to do this thing, and before it was the time to do it, grandma just brings your daughter home really early. Seems weird to me about that. Maybe you should be asking Grammy some questions about why she did that as well. But everything else, 100% on the X. He completely messed that up. I don't know why he just didn't have his daughter sitting with him throughout, like, the reception and stuff. Like, you'd think he'd want to have his family close. I don't know. Weird one. X, a douche. And I'd be having serious questions about whether you want your child around Grammy, because she does not seem to be, nice either. As she would have obviously known that your daughter was meant to do a thing in the middle of the reception, and she took her out. This story comes from r/malicious compliance, and let's hop into it, shall we? Tell me to smile. Bet this isn't what you meant. I'm a mobile, so sorry for any issues. After a long stressful day at school, I was picked up by my dad to go to his house. My parents are divorced. You could see in my face that I was tired and just wanted to get home. I was in the backseat staring out the window, and my dad decided to say, "Come on, smile. Don't look so miserable." Most people don't smile if they're tired or stressed. Common sense. I'd had enough of being told to smile by everyone. Old men, my parents, etc. So I decided I would follow his request. I put on the biggest, craziest, most Joker-like smile I could form and held it until I went to bed. We had to stop at the shops to get dinner. Everyone thought I was crazy, but it was worth it. He was completely and utterly embarrassed. Tried to get me to stop as we were getting stared at. Alas, I did not, as I wanted to prove my point. And the commenter says to this: my mother put me in beauty pageants when I was in high school. At one of them there was a talent portion. I sang Memory from Cats. It was the 80s, in full makeup. I had parents of other contestants telling me I did a great job. Pageant parents are notoriously competitive, so it was surprising. Ultimately, I didn't place. I asked one of the judges why I hadn't placed, and she responded in a southern drawl, "Well, you wonderful darling, but honey, you didn't smile." I looked at her and snapped. "But honey, I was singing about death. That was the last pageant my mother made me do. A smile isn't always necessary." And someone else comments to this: when my middle school teacher told me to stop being so grumpy and just smile some more, I took a pink ink pen and drew a Joker-like smile on my face. He stopped telling girls to smile after that. And someone replies to that with, "Why do grown men always have the itch to tell girls to smile? It's dumb as hell." And someone replies to that with, "All the women do the same. It's because women are supposed to be pleasant and make everyone else feel better. No one tells men to smile." And just to prove that stigma wrong, someone replies that with, "My boyfriend got fired from overnight stock at a grocery store, closed at this time, for not smiling enough. LMAFO." He's like, who the fuck cares? No one is here. He's still a bit salty, I think. Thanks for watching the video. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.